Hey folks, Chris Waters here at Sony Online Entertainment. With me is Jens Anderson, the creative director for DC Universe Online. Jens, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Jens, we're excited because we're going to get to see a new case in DC Universe Online. Why don't you take us right into it?
All right, cool. So basically what we're showing here today at E3 is a new case line. Heroes go on cases, villains go on capers. They're kind of like quests in our game. So I have a character here. His name is Stormwing. He has wings, so he flies, obviously. And the whole storm parts comes from his electrical powers. So right now what's going on here is S.T.A.R Labs is this scientific corporation or group, and they basically kind of push the boundaries of science, and sometimes they go a little too far. So what's happened here is some scientist has accidentally was experimenting on a mutagen and has released it into the environment, and it has infected the workers. So the JLA has shown up. You can see Batman right here, and he and I have to protect this scientist while he works on an antidote. So you can see the self-evident content in our game. It shows you the objectives. You can see all the knockout objectives over these guys' heads, which means I gotta knock them out in order to succeed in this mission. I can get to my powers really easily by holding down the R2 button and then any of the face buttons on the controller, or just hitting 1, 2, 3, 4 on the PC. So we're still protecting this guy as he's going about his work. Maybe I shouldn't leave Batman in the dust over there. He can probably handle himself, but more fun to jump in there. You can see how important physics is in our gameplay. We have a lot of physics objects in the world. You're able to interact with them, pick them up, unless some giant mutant smacks you while you're doing it. I can use my powers to defeat these guys. And once I do, looks like the scientist is done with making his antidotes. So I will go over here and talk with him. Then we get an update for the next part of the case, which is to use the antidote on some of the people that have been infected. So here's this guy chasing down some poor scientists that are trying to escape the same infection that has gotten onto these guys. So I go use the interact. You can see that now I've transformed her back into a normal scientist. So right now, here's a couple other guys. They're fighting a S.T.A.R Lab security guy, who I'm sure has been scratched and thereby right there turned into one of the mutants. So what I'll do here is you can see they're knockouts right now, right? But as soon as I knock the guy out, he becomes an interact objective, which essentially means for this part of the story, use the antidote. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that once I actually knock these guys out, because otherwise they'll interrupt me. Cool, so I transformed this guy back into a security agent.
We won this one!
Like so. And once I do, now these guys are actually on my side. So here's a really cool part about our game. I can go in there guns blazing, or I can actually, tag them, get their attention. Maybe I'll run back over here and use the S.T.A.R Lab security guys to my benefit, where they'll go ahead and start attacking these guys and helping me out. So now I can go ahead and actually secure one guy while they're attacking the next guy, and they'll knock him out, and so on and so on and so on. But, I'm a hero. I shouldn't hide behind human shields, especially poor people that are, innocent victims. So I'll go in here and just actually beat them up myself this time. Different kind of powers. Even though I'm a melee guy here, I do have ranged attacks at my disposal in my superpower line. So even if you choose to be that kind of character that goes up and gets up close and personal, you have options like attacks like that, where you can actually do damage at a distance. Okay, cool. So I got these guys all knocked out. I got a few more doses of the antidote left. I'll go ahead and use it on them. And once I do, we'll see what the next phase of the case is. Okay, so Oracle's come up. She's an information broker for heroes, and she's told me what the next step of the case is. I need to assist Superman and Green Arrow because they are fighting the source of the mutagen. This was the first employee that got infected, and as you can see right now, he's absolutely huge, and he's ground pounding and knocking me out of the air there. So actually maybe we'll keep our distance for a second, do some damage with some physics objects. See Green Arrow laying down some cover fire. Superman using his heat vision. I'll do some range attacks too with my electricity. But eventually I'm gonna have to get in there, so let's go ahead and get in there. This guy's pretty tough, so I'm gonna actually switch over to a defensive stance, activate an electrical aura, which is gonna do some damage while I'm up close, but also protect me from some damage as well. Maybe I'll put down a field here, which will now stay in the world. So anytime he goes walking through it to get towards Superman or Green Lantern, he's gonna start taking more damage. So there's a lot of tactical stuff you can do with the space around you. It's not just getting in there and beating things up, although that is super fun, so why not? This is a power. I'm actually remote controlling this electricity. As you can see it there in the background, I'll whip it around and get it toward this guy right here. So there's all kinds of new game mechanics that we have involved with DC Universe Online. They really fit the action game metaphor. All right, we're almost done with this guy. Now, defense also takes away some of my attack power, so while I was not taking a lot of damage, as you can see, I wasn't doing a lot to this guy, so I'm gonna switch back to offense and deliver the killing blow. There we go. So there's the source of the mutagen. Poor guy. We call him Bob. It's not his real name, but maybe it was when he was the scientist, you know.
Well, Jens, I want to thank you for helping make the world safer for all of us non-mutants.
No problem, no problem.
The game's coming along great. It looks really sharp. Can you give us any information about release date, when people are going to get their hands on it?
No information on release date or business model or anything like that yet. You know, we're just about finishing up our alpha, and after that we'll be going into a beta phase with friends and family and stuff, and we'll have more information then. But you can always check out our MySpace site, so www.myspace.com/DCUO, and we give information out there. So.
Well, we're looking forward to getting more as soon as we can, as are our users. Thanks again for the demo.
No problem. Thanks for coming by.
Great. For more on DC Universe Online, be sure to check out our extensive written coverage on GameSpot.com, as well as our comprehensive E3 show floor coverage.